Welcome to the studio, Ilya. I am super excited that after 6 long months of preparation, you actually made a commitment to join forces here and really make this collaboration happen. I would like to welcome a very special guest, everyone. Ilya is my client forever. He's never leaving my side. Ilya represents Smart Living Solutions. He actually started his journey right before my eyes, and he's been successfully growing. This is absolutely a very interesting experience, Ilya, to see you grow right in front of me. And we started back 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
So we met 10 years ago, and I remember very clearly in 2014 when I approached you and I offered you my services. You owned a co-op apartment back then in Briarwood, in the building that I sell a lot of co-ops. And you owned a 2-bedroom. You were married at that time only a few years.
Married for, I would say, 6-7 years. Yeah.
And you had 2 children at that time.
2 years, yeah.
So I offered you to sell your place. And at that time, I remember very clearly how we spoke outside of the building. And you said, Olga, I'm looking to buy a house. And your dream was always to buy a house in Fresh Meadows. Just like many youngsters do nowadays, they're dreaming about buying a house in Fresh Meadows. Fresh Meadows happens to be an area where a lot of people find themselves comfortable in the next chapter of their life. So when I approached you to sell your co-op, you were so scared. You were in the position, I remember clearly, where you weren't sure, should you do it, should you not do it? But I guess I'm good at what I do. I pushed you off the cliff. I made you very uncomfortable. Just like today.
Yeah, that's true. 6 months waiting for me to get.
And you just took my advice. You went ahead and you bought a property in Fresh Meadows. We sold your place successfully 10 years ago, exactly from today. Right. And your journey has just been an amazing experience to watch. So you began with 2 children, moving into your Fresh Meadows home with your beautiful wife, who is your backbone, and you are absolutely heart and soul to everything you are today. We will definitely give her a great and beautiful shout out that she understands that without a wife, this would not be possible. Without your wife, this would not be possible.
For sure.
And for her to be your rock and your bone to everything that you are today, I just want to say thank you to her because she has been through thick and thin with you right before my eyes, and I witnessed it all.
Yeah.
So let's begin with really saying exactly what you do nowadays, because this is the main reason why I wanted you to speak from your heart and sharing with our audience and our listeners, what do you do nowadays that makes you super unique and special, what Smart Living Home Solution represents, and why everyone should know what you do.
Well, thank you for the presentation. Thank you for having me. I know it was a journey to get here, at least 6 months, and I'm happy that I'm here, and I appreciate the invitation. What I do, my company speaks for itself, Smart Living Solutions. I find solutions for homes and make it where people have the house in the palm of their hands. They can control their lights, their thermostats, their cameras, their intercom. Even they want to if I want to access my house, they can't reach anybody in my house. I can log in and directly connect to somebody in one of my devices. Can connect somebody, speak to them face to face, and also even now vacuums. Before it used to be central vacuums, now robotic vacuums. I can So the things that I do and for people is to create something very simplified.
Smart Living Solutions.
Yes, create something that's very easy for people to use and everything implemented into one app. Smart Living Solutions provides pre-wiring, one of the most important things which I want to talk about. Then the installation of equipment, programming it and putting everything into one app.
What led you in your life to approach that journey?
I used to, before Smart Living Solutions, I used to work for a company, B&H Photo, worked there, learned how to sell camera equipment, security systems, networking equipments. That was one of my major things that I used to sell. Then I got into learn more about it and started installing the equipment. I originally studied in business and IT, so I knew a lot about networking. I knew a lot about computers and all this stuff. So that's what led me into that, because one of the things that myself is like I improvise. I learn how to figure things out, put things together.
That's your niche. That's your strength.
That's my niche, yeah. And thank God, my journey, and every day we learn. As a people, we always learn and trying to get new things, implement things that are something out of the ordinary. I have customers who ask me some things and they ask me, oh, how can I control this without, for example, a gate. I recently did a garage gate that was 7 years old. It's not smart. They want to control it with their phones. I tell them, okay, I'll figure it out. I found a way. I made a gate that's not smart into a smart gate. And that's what.
But how do you do that if the gate is already installed?
So we create a switch, a smart switch. There's a switch there, which is called a low voltage trigger switch. Low voltage trigger switch, we basically connect it to the internet and make that trigger to connect it to your phone. So if you control it with your phone, you're able to open it or close it, or even also connect it to a system, and you can speak to a computer and say, computer, open the gate, or computer, close the gate. It's the same trigger. You're just basically creating a program that tells you, okay, when I say something like that, do this. It's an action. It's like programming backend. So that is what we can do with anything. It's improvising. It's creating something. That's one of the things we do, is create something
that doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist, yeah.
Knowing you for so many years, I've watched you and witnessed your creativity. And I watched you show me exactly what you did with your house. Because right now you are in Great Neck.
Yes, moved to Great Neck.
And did you build your house from scratch, or did you rebuild it and implemented everything new with new systems in your home while you were renovating it?
It's a great question. So I didn't do a full construction like most people do, but I did some renovation. And with doing the renovation, what I did is I pre-wired the house, because that's one of the most important things. And then once I pre-wire the house, I can do whatever I want. I want to, let's say, add a system, change a system. Something comes up, new technology comes up, I can still do it because the wire has been there.
But you could only do it when the walls are open?
Yes and no. So it's better, obviously, if the walls are open. But when the walls are closed, it's kind of harder. It's like longer time to do. You have to open up the sheetrock, run the lines or something like that. It's definitely better to do it before. So one of the most important things I recommend for people building homes, the way you hire electrician, the way you hire an HVAC guy, you should hire a low voltage installer like me. Low voltage is anything that's less than high voltage. Like if high voltage is electrical. Low voltage is something that's 24 volt or 48 volt. LEDs are low voltage. Camera securities are low voltage. Everything has to be pre-wired. So one of the things that we actually do, which is very interesting, is we run a conduit from the closet, AV closet, to the outside of the house. So Verizon can run their fiber optics cable into the closet.
Why is it important?
Well, when you want to build a $2 million house, do you want people or Verizon coming and drilling holes?
Absolutely not.
You want them to bring it where it's going to be neatly done on closets, ways, whatever. All the equipment is in one closet. I had a situation recently. I had a client. We just pre-wired. We called Verizon. They ran the cables. And the guy is like, we became friends and talking. He's like, Ilya, wow, I'm so impressed the way you did it. I don't see it in homes like that. I just did a house, $2 million house. I ran a cable. I had to drill holes and I felt so bad. And the client had to endure that. I had to see that.
So do you mean to tell me that in today's world, when people invest over $1 million to build a brand new construction, they still do not clearly understand the step-by-step process?
Unfortunately, that's true, because I just passed by a house recently, completed. I don't even see a doorbell, a wired doorbell outside. I don't see no cameras. We're in 21st century. We need security. We need alarm. We need a smart doorbell. When somebody's not home or when somebody rings the doorbell, I want to be able to see it from my phone. Who's at the door? I want to answer the phone. I want to be able to maybe open my door for my kids to come into the house. To open it from my
communicate with the delivery guy.
Or communicate with the delivery guy. Or tell him, can you leave the package in the back of the garage or side door so the package doesn't get stolen? Or there's another way, actually, what I do. We create a system for Amazon people to come deliver the packages into the garage. They come in, they're able to open the door.
So you're giving them the code?
It's not a code. It's basically access to Amazon access control, we call it. Amazon access control. So all Amazon deliveries, like example, what's his name? Logitech. Like Amazon has its delivery packages that they deliver. Even like, for example, they deliver groceries, they deliver packages. They have access, it's called Amazon access control. They tell you where it is. It's either the garage or the front gate. The garage opens up.
So only delivery
of Amazon packages.
Amazon packages.
Because Amazon. So
how do you know that it's secure for them to enter your garage?
So Amazon has this thing called, when they open the gate, they have a couple of seconds. They come open the gate, they leave the packages, and they have to close the gate.
Mm.
They only have access to open it. So obviously you have a camera there inside that garage to make sure that there's no theft. I've actually have it multiple times in my house where I don't want to leave an expensive package in front of my door. Amazon goes ahead. I choose, it's called Amazon Key Delivery. So you choose the Amazon Key Delivery, and that package gets delivered to my garage automatically.
Wow.
So they open the gate, they leave the package inside, and they close the gate. I can actually see they didn't take anything. Most probably, Amazon actually reviews the people who's working for them. They making sure that if anything happens, you have a video. That's one of the things you have, and you protect it. And a lot of customers that I did for, they're very happy because deliveries come, for example, packages come at 4 a.m. They don't ring the doorbell at 4 a.m. They know they open the gate, they leave the package, and they leave. It secures the package for you, so less theft on the packages.
Ilya, I want you to dive deeper into everything that you do from the moment a client calls you to build a brand new house.
Great question. So what I normally do is I ask people, please send me the plans. But most people have.
So are you connected to architects?
Yes. Some intrigued systems, the architect gives us a drawing for the low voltage. Not everything, but something like LEDs, for example, cove lighting.
So you work hand in hand with builders, contractors, architects.
And designers, yes.
And designers.
Yes. So we work together to create a low voltage scheme. I get a plan from the architect. We write everything down, where it's going to be, the speakers, the TV is going to be, where the Wi-Fi access point is going to be, where our additional data cables that needs to be run to it, where our AV closet is going to be, which is very important because that's the brain of the house. AV closet is, imagine of equipment. It's a rack that goes into a place where all the equipments are there. Speakers, network cables, Wi-Fi equipment, everything that's there should be there. It's protected, it's grounded also. That's the most important thing it's like the brain of the house.
Ilya, you've been installing smart technology for a while right now, but it sounds like you are very tied into electricians and electrical equipment. Do you do it yourself or do you have people working for you installing it?
Yes, I have obviously a team. I have a huge team that does a lot of the work. I do electrical work. Electrical work is high voltage, obviously. If the owner did not hire an electrician, they would hire me, and I could do it, obviously. Install a smart switch, for example. I've done it. My father's an electrician. So
it's in your DNA?
It's in my DNA, and my father taught me a lot.
Oh.
Thanks to him, I've became a very handy, very savvy with that.
It's a blessing.
Yes, definitely. And it's his footsteps where he taught. Originally, my dad has started fixing TVs back in the day in Russia. He learned he's worked in a TV store where they fix TVs. Then he came to America. He started doing video cameras and also electrical work. It's my house my parents live in, which I grew up in. My father did the whole construction from A to Z. I remember when I was younger, I was there to fix things, help with him, run installations, helping him out with plywood and all this stuff. So I have that in me. I'm doing work.
It sounds like you're juggling a lot of things from the moment the client calls you to the point where you have to put it to work with architects and probably get it approved by building department as well?
The low voltage is not required to do approval, but low voltage is inspected by the electrical inspection. We have to make sure our transformers are installed correctly. We have UL certified on all our equipment. Our equipment is grounded. That's one of the most important things for us as a low voltage installers. But generally, it is very important for us to have everything on plan, because if something happens, we know how the wiring is ran, where the equipment is. It's just easier for somebody else to take over or somebody else to look at the job after installation is complete.
So technically, if the client is dreaming of something, it's pretty much your ability to fulfill their dream and put it into reality.
Yes, that's what we do. We provide smart living solutions. So the company itself, it speaks whatever the client's looking for.
It's all possible.
It's all possible. It depends, obviously, in the budget. We always look at the customer's budget, because there are budgets that if a customer has a higher budget for it, they are much more intrigued system, much more expensive brand name systems that we install. They're equipment that quality that gives quality. It's like driving a Toyota or a Lexus. A Toyota is the same, like the sister company of Lexus. Right. You have a very similar product. A product that's cost $100, a product costs a $200 product. So it all depends on what the product gives. So we do offer all different type of systems available out there in the market.
So run me through the design. So let's pretend a client calls you. They want to build a brand new house. And now it's your job to go preview the property, meet with the client,
yes,
and design it with them based on their wants, needs, and potential for the future.
So how it happens is, first, when a client reaches out to me, I ask them to please provide me a plan. I look at the plan before I meet the client. I study the house. I study how the construction is, the structure of the house. Then I go meet at the site when the house is already in skeleton mode, like frames are up. The outside can be done, but the interior has to be all in frame work.
Right.
Once the frame is done,
open bones.
Yeah. Once the frame is done, we'll see based on how we're going to run our cables. For example, we have I-beams. We cannot drill I-beams. We have to make sure we got to bypass it. We also have to think about if we're going to need to create soffits to run those cables. It all depends on the structure. So based on that, then I can propose the client, this is the options you have. We can go, depends on your budget, obviously. We can go give you offer this, we can go offer that. And then we put everything into one package where, let's say the customer wants security systems, alarm, clients wants central vacuum system, what a lot of people do. So customer wants speakers in every room, even LED, cove lighting. We provide a whole structure for them and provide them that estimate to give them the full picture of smart home that they want.
You mentioned earlier something about a special new vacuum system that you came up with?
Well, I didn't come up with it, but central vacuum back in the day people used to do.
Right.
But
they don't use it as much.
Yeah, it's harder to pull heavy pipes or heavy stuff. A lot of people don't like it. Or even the in-wall stuff. They have this in-wall. If it's in-wall, it's good. But as a new thing that now most people do is get robotic vacuums.
So robotic vacuums is a new...
Yeah, it's robotic. It's basically smart. A lot of the vacuums are very smart. It creates a layout of your plan, of your house. First, it scans.
So it remembers the floor plan?
Makes the floor plan. You divide the floor plan into each zone, each name. Let's say I have a living room, dining room, foyer.
So it knows where the carpet is, where the tile is, where to wipe, where to clean, where to...
Yeah, for sure. And I would love to show that to you. Just an example how a plan is a scenario. Look, it's the plan like that.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. So what it does is then I can tell the robotic, I said, a robot clean my kitchen.
Wow.
And it will go and clean the kitchen.
So you don't need a cleaning lady.
You still need a touch-ups or whatever it is. Yeah,
but so that does heavy-duty day-to-day operations.
It does the day-to-day. You schedule it automatically. Like, for example, in my house, I clean it automatically. At night, 9, 10 o'clock, when people are already upstairs, it cleans most of my foyer, kitchen, every day. And every other day, it cleans the whole house. Whoa. Vacuums, wipes, and wipes the floors.
So, Ilya, we talked about pre-wiring. You gave me the idea of like what you can do while you're building a brand new house. We talked about the vacuum, the smart vacuum system. Now let's talk a little bit more about the cameras, because you know how important that to me personally. I actually want you to come in and completely redo my whole entire system because I trust you and I know you for so many years. I know that you will do everything right from the beginning to the end. But to me, the most important part is the high security and the cameras. Because as you know, I shared this moment with you that recently my home was broken into. And if I had a special system where I would get some kind of notification on my phone that someone is walking around my house, or if somebody just simply like ADT, for example, there is a way to set up where the system is telling you that your door is open, right? But I feel like ADT is not as aggressive. What can you personally give the clients to reassure them that what you do for them is next level?
Great question. And I think this is what I would offer. So cameras are very important for homes. Obviously, you have to run the wires to them. That's before. Everybody knows Ring. Ring cameras. Everybody knows the Ring doorbell or whatever it is. Ring is a very interesting software. The software is where if somebody's in front of your door, you get a notification. I'm using that platform, installing those regular cameras that you see in most homes.
So you're collaborating with Ring company?
Yeah, I'm partnered with Ring actually. Became just recently partners. I'm trained very well with the Ring systems. And I've integrated our cameras into the Ring system. You're able to play back easily, which I like to share later on to see how it works. Play your videos back quickly. You get notifications like it's a Ring, like a notification that somebody's there. And also, obviously, some cameras you can do two-way. So you can speak and say, hey, or what are you doing in my house? Or, hey, or even watching the kids, like most parents.
You just did.
Which I just actually had a situation. My daughter was running into a den, start picking out the smallest things, putting in the mouth. I couldn't reach my nanny. Then I logged into my system, went into the video, and I contacted my babysitter and said, hey, can you go take a look? Through a camera, which you just...
It's unbelievable. We're living during the most amazing times of our lifetime.
And what a lot of people don't know is there are systems like that.
That it exists.
That exists.
That's why I brought you over.
Where you can have everything in the palm of your hand, and your life is easier.
Right.
I know, for example, I forgot to turn off the AC. I can go in there and turn off my AC.
Amazing.
I forgot the lights. I can go in there. And also, another thing, actually, like you were saying, you had a situation, you had a robbery, unfortunately. So what do robbers do? They want to see if it's dark outside. Your house has no lights. What they do is they try to break in. If there's no lights, nobody's home. What smart system does is it automatically turns on the light when you're not home. When a system is armed, automatically light turns on, stays on.
So you can set it up.
It's set it up like that, where the lights will turn on. So the robber knows, somebody's at home. I'm not going to do anything like that.
But if anybody, I will just pause you for a moment. If anybody is looking to have more in-depth conversation, I don't want to get too much into giving too much ideas to those that don't work and think they could find an easy life. But if anyone has any kind of ideas that they need to contact Ilya and discuss smart home solutions for prevention, right? I want to highlight that they could easily reach out to Ilya. Mention your phone number so people could contact you.
Yeah, definitely. You could reach me at my cell phone, 646-290-1922, or my office number, 646-828-6718. Anytime you could text me, WhatsApp me. I'm always available, even in the evening.
Excellent.
One of the things I gotta say,
You're easily accessible.
It's kind of hard when you have family. One of the things I have to say, my wife is very understanding, and thanks to her, a lot of things move forward in life. You were saying earlier that my wife, when I wanted to move to Fresh Meadows from Briarwood to Fresh Meadows, I was afraid. I was like normal. Every person is, as a young kid who have young kids.
A lot of responsibilities.
My wife pushed me. She said, "You know what? Don't worry. Move
But
forward."
let's just fix one part, right?
Yeah.
I'm noticing right now, since I'm more like into social world, it's not just about selling real estate. Selling real estate is about what I do, but it's not who I am, right? I do sell real estate. That's my living. That's what pays my bills. And that's what I also enjoy. I love selling and I love negotiating and I love marketing. That's just part of my DNA.
Definitely.
But who I am is I love helping people. And this is how I blended the 2 + 2 together. But I want to go back to your wife. There's a lot of ladies that I'm noticing right now that are putting themselves in a position where it comes off as a demand, right? And I'm witnessing it because I see the reason sometimes why I'm invited to the house. Because God forbid if it's a divorce situation or it's a situation where a man just can't figure himself out. Some women are very powerful. And I should always say that woman is a neck.
Definitely.
And man is the head.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay. And so what I find very amazing about your wife is that she's been before my eyes with you through thick and thin. And that's why I love her and I admire her so much. I want to put this up on camera and on this recording because I want her to hear that I've been witnessing her going from 10 years ago, going from a small Briarwood co-op into a Fresh Meadows house. And now you guys took it to the next level where you are on Great Neck, right? Yeah. But it is because she was your partner. She was not demanding. She was not making it like many others that I see right now, where they're putting a man into position where he's choked and he can't figure it out. Because when a man is not at peace at home, he will never figure it out.
Definitely.
It will lead to crisis, right?
Just to add to that, when I was looking to my Great Neck house, we looked obviously multiple houses with my wife. And finally, she's like, we couldn't find anything that was great. We looked at Roslyn, we looked at different places. Our budget was changed a couple of times. So my wife was like, you know what? Let's pause. Like maybe we won't find anything. We're not finding anything yet. And then I happened to find this house that I live in. And that's the first thing I did is I went. I couldn't, as my wife was like, I don't have time to go there. Just go and take a look and see if you like it. I trust you. If you like it, it's great. So I went to the house. Both houses I bought without my wife seeing it first. That's one of the things I was like, amazing. I went to see it. I liked it. Then I brought her in. What do you think? Well, great. Go ahead. I trust you.
So she always give you a blessing.
She always give me blessings. She trusted me to go in and see. And even doing construction, she never bothered me about, I want this, I want that.
Because she trusts that you know.
One of the things I tell you, which we did actually, which is very interesting, is you get a designer. 2 minds think differently. You want 2 different things. And I think one of the best thing to do is, and I recommend everybody who's building homes, is get a designer, neutral. You speak to the designer, tell her, this is what you want. She tells you, this is what we want. And the designer collaborates the things together and a house came out beautiful. I love it.
What if the 2 people don't come together to be on the same page? I will tell you the truth. I see a lot of couples, when they're building a house, it comes nearly to divorce.
It's very stressful.
Because it's a very, very stressful process. Not only that, it's a preference choice of picking certain materials, right? And it could lead to misunderstanding. It could lead to disagreements, major disagreements. And this is what I'm actually working on. In my next episode, I'm actually working with a designer to actually discuss potentially how do you not only pre-wire your home, but how do you also design it before you actually build it. It's another little element I'm working on where people will be able to design a home before they actually talk to an architect.
To start with the designer, which is very interesting, I think it's very important to have a designer.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't have a designer, you're actually going to spend more money
On mistakes.
because you're going to redo the things. I have a person that I know personally because I'm in construction site all the time. Just in the bathroom, they changed the toilet in 3 different locations. They changed it 3 times. I felt like, wow, they spent so much money on material. The husband wanted this way, the wife wanted this way, the father wanted this way. It's like crazy. And when you have too many decision makers on one home, the house is not going to be finished. It's not going to be finished the way a designer has a different vision. The person has a vision. They can see the whole picture. If you follow the designer, a good designer who knows what they're doing, they give you a picture. This is how the room is going to look like. And you're looking at it. Okay, I like this. I don't like that. And you discuss it. And before you finalize everything, the designer can change things, put things together, and then you have a final product. You give it to the contractor or the architect puts it together. And for us as a low voltage installer, designer is very important because we'll know where the TV is going to be, where the computer is going to be, and that makes it easier for us because the designer already puts everything together.
Do you have good designers that you work with?
I do have a couple of designers in mind that I work with, great, that did my house, for example, very friendly, very great to work with. Designer has to have patience. And if you have a designer who has patience, who gives patience, because every person is different. You have a man, woman who have 2 different mindsets, and you put them together, and the designer gives and understands each outlook of everything, it will be much easier, much better. And that's why one of the things I was going to take back is when I was building my house in Great Neck, I took a designer, I invested the money, whatever it was the best investment that I did because, first of all, I wouldn't have redone a lot of things. The finishing product came out beautiful because when I come into a home, everything from designer chooses from wallpaper, floors, to your pictures, to the colors and the furniture even, which Amazing. Is from A to Z. You come in. I just was talking to a friend of mine who just bought a house in Great Neck. He got a designer. He got an architect. He came into the house finished. Like furniture's there, bed is there, everything was there. He went on a vacation for a week. He came back. He surprised his wife, and he was like, "Wow, I couldn't imagine
this was
that possible." Yeah. So a good designer can make things easier.
Absolutely.
And a lot of our Bukharians, they feel like maybe saving money might be the best thing, but I think it's important to understand, to give it to a professional who knows what they're doing, and your life is easier. It's better relationship-wise, better without having issues, and also redoing things. A lot of people do the house, I should have done it differently. I should maybe extend the front, or maybe it's like so many things. A lot of people finish construction, they're like, I should have put a closet in here. Just the simplest thing. A designer would probably look into it and say, you know what, you're right. You should have put a closet at the entrance of your door. You don't have a closet. You have to go to 3 feet or 4 feet away to put your coat closet. A designer has a layout of everything. And that's what the designer for us did. A concept of layout. You have a closet here. You have an open concept. Let's say if you decide to call concept, I have a living room. I have a hallway foyer. I have a kitchen, dining room from the kitchen. Not like, kitchen, you need a dining room. You got to walk 10 steps to get to the dining room. It's common. It's like
very smart.
A very easy way to get things.
I'm very proud of the fact that you hired a designer.
Yes.
And you actually did it right from the very beginning. It is very important. Like there is a saying in Russian, right? Скупой платит дважды. So
100%.
It's very important not to spend the money 2-3 times, because in the end of the day, whatever you pay the professional, it will cost you so much more. But the designer only covered for you personally on the inside or outside too, because I have seen what you've done outside, and especially with your cameras. Yeah. This was very, very interesting how you set up a system where if anybody comes near the house, talk about that.
Okay, great. So the camera, about what you're talking about, if I pass what I did is I put a camera in front of my house. After a certain time, which is about 10 p.m., nobody's supposed to be outside, or nobody's supposed to be in the backyard or side yard. Somebody passes by that, it says, you're trespassing. and it flashlight, the red light flashing, you're trespassing. Until you get out of that line or until you get out of that area, it still says you're trespassing.
So the camera talks to whomever is walking?
It's like beeping or trespassing. You're trespassing. A lot of people don't know that is available.
Right.
And it's one of the best features. If the robber wants to sneak in from the back or from the side, when I was talking to you earlier, robbers, whoever wants to rob your house, they want to do it in the dark. So what it does is a lot of our cameras for the outside, they have a night light or light that flashes. So the light goes on. And it scares the person. Distracts the person. Yes. It distracts the person. Them. And they go away. So, and that's actually what I recommend most people to do outside cameras.
Anything that you have as far as, let's say, the code of the system where one person can have more than one code, how, let's say, you alarming the security system. I think you shared something with me that could be 2 different codes.
Correct. So each user in the house, let's say the mom, the dad, the kids, all of them have their own code. You don't want to share your codes to anybody.
Right.
So, for example, whoever enters the house, let's say your kids came in, they armed the house, disarmed the house, we call it. Automatically, you'll get a notification that, your daughter or your son came into the house.
So each person has their own code.
Yes.
Wow.
So the system will know, who entered the house or who left the house, whoever's leaving the house. For example, you obviously have a doorbell to see who's at the left, whoever's coming in. So that code doesn't pass around. Let's say you had a nanny, you have that code, and she's no longer with you. You change that code. You don't give your code to give it to the nanny to enter your house. It's a temporary code. So you can always change that code. That's actually one of the things that's very important to have.
So your generic code that you created, that only, let's say, you and your wife know, you could create separate codes for all members of the family, and outside, if it's a nanny or any cleaning people that might be entering the house.
Correct. So yeah, everybody has their own code, so you'll know who's actually entered the house and what time they entered. It's a stamp. Basically, every time they enter the code, it's a stamp. Another thing is a lot of the security cameras there is a camera on it. So whenever you enter the code, it takes a snap picture of you. So let's say if some robber wants to try to play with the code or maybe knows the code, you actually have a photo of it.
Oh, wow.
There are strict systems out there that's out there. If people want to have it, they can actually see who actually entered the code. So there are, but that's all depends on the person themselves, of what they want, because there are different type of systems, like I said earlier.
So is everything running on the internet or Wi-Fi?
So everything is Wi-Fi. It's all internet. If your internet is down, it still works. So the alarm system works totally different. Internet is a backup, but it has a built-in radio. It has back in the day, if you remember, we had to have a phone line to have the alarm, right?
Yes.
So that's no longer this now. Most of the alarms have this thing called internal radio. Internal card, like a SIM card. Well, basically, it talks to satellite, like T-Mobile, Verizon, wherever, any network, and it dials out or uses that as the backup. If your internet is down, it'll use that, or vice versa. First it uses the Wi-Fi, and then it uses the radio to go out. So let's say back in the day, let's say somebody wants to rob a house. What they do is they cut the cables right outside.
Right.
So they cut the cables. They think that,
I'm good to go.
I'm good to go. No, it has a built-in radio inside the alarm panel that if the internet goes down, it automatically triggers.
So there is backup systems that you're building.
Another thing which I was talking to one of that's also mad, there's devices like that. When, let's say, your internet is down, I build a system where your internet is down. I have a backup internet. That's built in. So if your internet's down, your cameras are gonna still work. It's called Ring. Actually has that, and in that Ring they have this thing called backup internet. And if you can choose certain cameras that if your internet is down, you could still access it from your phone, or you see what's going on. So backup internet is amazing to have, because if internet service went down for whatever reason, maybe something happened in the pole somewhere, whatever it is. That actually, it's amazing to have.
So how many systems do you recommend anyone who's building a brand new home? how many systems do you recommend they have? So it's a Ring, it's the alarm, it's the cameras, it's the outside systems.
So it's a great question what you're saying. A lot of people, like I was talking to somebody who did somebody did a system for them. The most complaints what people have is like, oh, I have to have so many applications.
Yes.
I have to have a camera application. I have to have a lock application. I have to have a thermostat
Ring.
application, a Ring application. What I provide is one application.
So it's all blend into
all
one
into
space.
one space. So whoever wants to have control their thermostats, control their cameras, control their lighting, all into that one app. And I built that for them. My background is programming, so I put things together. And one of the things I do, and
Do you write programs?
I do write programs, and I put things together. So my background is programming. I'm not into the programming, but I am for smart home automations. I do write background programming, like a back-end programming. So I'd say I put this to this and put it together.
So you're building custom programming systems for each smart home.
Each smart home has different needs. So each smart home has different softwares. For
You're
example,
a genius.
I would say genius. Thank you. But I do improvise. I do try my best to give easy, simple things for customers to use. A lot of people say, oh, I can't even play music on my speakers. How hard is it? How complicated is it? I got to do this. I got to do that. I show them, okay, this is how simple it is. Press 2 buttons. Press this and play from YouTube or play from Spotify or play from any of your music stuff that's on your phone. That's how easy it could be. A lot of people say, I don't want to install speakers. It's complicated. I'm not going to be able to play. I had a customer actually recently called me. He said, I want to install cameras for my mom and I want to put speakers. She's an old elderly lady. I wanted to make it simple. I wanted to make it easy for her to use. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Can you make it easy where she's just it's gonna be easy for her to use? I said, sure, we're gonna be able to work. It's like, okay. He said, I don't like Lutron. I said, what do you mean you like Lutron? Lutron has different systems. Lutron has a high-end, very complicated system where the programming is very complicated. And there's Lutrons that are a simple use. It's easy. Application, you chose the light, and you basically turn on the light, turn off the lights, very palm of your hands. And also one of the good things I was talking to him about it, for Shabbat, for example, right? Shabbat, back in the day, we used to have these lights and they used to have buttons on them, right? Right? It's hard to set them up. And the time changes, time zone changes, I gotta go and change that. What's good about for Shabbat? Shabbat, I create a software within the home automation. All the lights that you need for Shabbat, I choose whatever lights it is. I've done it to multiple customers. It turns on before sundown, right? Shabbat comes in many different times. It comes in at 4, it comes in at 5, it comes at 6, now it's 8. It all depends on the sun, right? We go based on the sun. Shabbat comes in, the light turns on. Then it turns off whatever time you go to sleep. 11, 12, turns off at 12 o'clock. And then whatever time you want to turn on. Let's say Saturday morning at around, 11 a.m. before lunchtime, it turns on. So first of all, it saves you energy. Second of all, it's easier. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to, it's great for people who's very Shomer Shabbat. Observing. And it's cost effective. It's not that expensive to do. And it's very easy to implement. It's easy for customers to use. I make it easy for customers to use because I program it and I make it in one button for them to see it. And I've done a lot to customers, and customers really appreciate it, how easy it is.
Ilya, do you have social media or you have a website where you share all your jobs?
I post a lot on Instagram, all the jobs.
WhatsApp too, right?
And WhatsApp, I do post a lot of WhatsApp stories. I do anything new. I don't have the time to post. I would love to post. I have to find someone to do that.
To follow you?
To follow me and do that.
Paparazzi?
Yes.
We all wish for that.
If
we just had one person following us all day and document all important moments.
That is true.
It would be incredible. But I want to touch upon something very important you mentioned earlier. The elderly. It is very important for my clients, for example, that have elderly family members, parents living with them, to really make sure that they are safe. So, and let's say I have my mom living with me and I want to go on vacation, but I want to monitor, make sure her well-being is good. What can you offer to those that are going through that chapter in life?
Great question. What you offer? Most people, what they do is they want to, let's say, elderly has a heart condition or something's going on with them where they faint. So we have these things with panic buttons. So that panic button will allow you to either notify you.
So you install panic buttons?
We can create panic buttons. We can create options where they can say, call daughter.
Wow.
Computer, call daughter. It will, even they're laying, they can say computer, call daughter, and they will reach out to you. Things like that, where it will be easier for them to reach you. And that's what really is, right? The most important thing is to get access for help, right?
Wow.
I have a grandmother who passed away a couple of years ago, and we were obviously there, but when the days we weren't able to there, she had a panic button, so
you
just
guys
in
watched
case,
her.
just to watch her. We also have security cameras, right? The security cameras is where we could see them live. We can also have, it's like a nanny cam, right? We can speak to them, hey, what's going on? Or even the monitor, like I was talking to you, I was able to log in and play and access to speak to my babysitter from here. I could see her from my phone. I'm able to speak to her. Hey, take a look at my daughter. It's the same exact thing what you could do for your parents.
Wow.
It's like being there. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to call or you don't have to dial. You just press a button, it rings the monitor.
So you could communicate, let's say if someone is in bed and they're not feeling well or they are sick, you don't need to constantly call them on the phone. You could communicate with them through the camera.
Correct. You can press a button, dial in, you'll be able to see them live. You'll see. They don't have to press any button. They don't have to answer. Press live, and you'll speak to them.
So we just built a brand new house. Now we're talking about elderly. Let's talk about children. What kind of security measures can you offer to those that want to control certain devices on behalf of their children?
Great question. I have every parent ask me. They tell me, Ilya, what can I do? I can't control my kid's iPad. I can't control my kid's iPhone.
And the schools are offering them.
Unfortunately, you have no control of it. So now we had a situation in my kid's school where I needed to control my kid's iPad. And I control my kids' phones. So after 9 o'clock, their phones don't work. They work. They can only reach their mom and dad, sister, brother. They need to speak to them. Everybody else, they can't call. They can't use any applications. They can't play any games. And if they want to have an additional minute, they send me a message and I can approve from my phone. Say, okay, go ahead, 15 minutes I give you.
Wow.
And another thing, what we just started recently, the Wi-Fi that you have in your house, you can control their phones. You can control their iPads. You can press a button, their computer or their iPad or their PlayStation will no longer work on the internet.
Would they know about it?
Will they know about it? I think they will right away. They will.
Mom, Dad, did you pay the bill?
Exactly. Is it working? Why is that? What did you do? Can you give me 5 more minutes? I know. Because my kids already, my son just recently turned 15. I have a daughter who's almost 17. And it's very important for parents to control their kids. Social media is one of the most, like we called. On our age, social media wasn't out there. It wasn't.
Right. Didn't exist.
It's one thing that we all as parents want to do is protect them in that bubble, protect them to make sure that they're not going.
They don't get lost.
They don't get lost. So having those measures, having those things in the palm of your hand, I call it, right?
Right.
To control their phones, control the internet. It's a great feature to have, and a lot of parents ask me. They beg me, Ilya, what do I do? And I guide them. I teach them how the steps they could do. It's better always start young, because if you start at 15, when it's already what's a problem, that's where the issue is. Because a child at 15 or 14, they will not let you do they will not let you do
what you need to do as a parent.
As a parent, because you lost them already.
They feel like you're taking over control. And as teenagers, they want to be in charge. And so Well, talking about the kids, this could be the whole entire
It's a
different
whole
episode.
Exactly, yes.
You
But
and I can talk
I
about.
started my kids from the beginning. As soon as I gave them the phone,
There is rules.
there's rules, and I controlled them from the beginning. It's happened when they had their phone at 12. From the day they got it. You want your phone? No problem. Here's the rules. And they accepted it. And since now, even now, my kids are 16, 17. They have that. They know after 9 o'clock, the phone doesn't work.
How old are your kids?
So now my daughter's 16 and a half, so almost 17. My son just turned 15. And I have a little baby
Wow.
after many, many years.
Wow.
It's
Are you
amazing.
enjoying?
I'm enjoying it.
She's your little toy.
She's the best. She's the one that makes me younger, keeps me younger. I'm
Nice.
turning 40 this year, and I'm like, she keeps me young. I feel like 21 again after when I had my other kids, 25. 25 when I had my other kids.
Well, Ilya, having children is not an easy task, but you are so involved and you're so actively participating in their life while you, at the same time, running such a busy operation. What is it like being a father, but at the same time running a business?
First of all, I got to give credit to my wife. She's great. She's amazing in terms of being a mom, a wife, a neck, like you said, right? My wife is the neck. And we just going whatever the wife is giving the directions. I do my best. We try to create a structure. After 7 o'clock, I try to be home. 7:30, before she goes to sleep. Try to spend time with my kids. And now my older kids, hang out with them. They're like my best friends. To have somebody the same height as you, and to speak about anything and everything, technology, life, world, school, just learning a lot from these kids. I'm like, wow.
What are your kids into?
Well, my daughter is learning, want to be a lawyer. She grows up. She's great. She has a amazing organization, nonprofit organization she started recently for teen health organization. I'm really proud of her. She's amazing. My son, another story. Wow, I'm so impressed. He has his own company.
Wow. How old is he?
15.
So at 15, he has his own company.
Yeah, he's a smart kid. He's a kid that loves to read. He learned about AI when it just came out.
Wow.
By artificial intelligence. He learned about it. He used to play with it. He told me about this 3 years ago when nobody knew about it. And he reads a lot. He knows what's going on. He opened up a company, JB Travels, doing travel packages for people. Somebody who's that age.
I should consult with him when I'm ready to travel next time.
A lot of people call me and say, "Can I get your son's number?" I just texted somebody last night. Somebody looking for a vacation package.
Oh.
He does.
So he coordinates everything?
Coordinates from people from beginning, from flights to pickup to the hotel to excursions. And packages range from high end to middle end to low end. It all depends on what you want. And what
so
your
full
budget
service
is.
traveling needs.
Yeah, JB Travels. You can find him on Instagram. He always posts a lot of
JB
things.
Travels?
JB Travels, yeah.
So everybody, JB Travels, here you go. We got another businessman in the family.
Yes.
That's awesome. Where do you think your kids are getting this traits from? You think it's more you or your wife?
I think both of us. My wife is very, very smart. She's a go-to.
She's in the medical field, right?
She's in the medical field. She works. She's an assistant director now in Forest Hills Hospital. She's very smart. She's a go-getter. When we just got married, she was still studying as a PA, if you remember.
Yes.
She got her master's in business, master's in hospital management, and she has a PA. She was literally in clinical first. Now she's more administrative. She manages in surgical. She managed so many different departments. I just lost count already. She's really good. I can see her probably being a CEO of a hospital one day. And
wow. God willing.
She's gonna get there. I know that for sure. She's young. So she's 36, and to get what she's at right now, it's amazing to see. Amazing.
It seems like you're doing very well, but she's not just taking a break and saying, "Oh, I don't have to work. I'll stay home and enjoy your money." She is there actively working and growing herself as a human and becoming somebody who you could be proud of, right? This is
Well, listen,
this is what life is about. Not to sit and get comfortable. Life is about to challenge yourself to become a better version every single day that we have the opportunity of breathing and being above ground, I should say.
to say that at least this a life is husband and wife is a partnership, to grow things together. When we were married, we got married. She was 20 and I was 22. We were young. We didn't have anything. Thanks to my parents, I had that co-op. I got that co-op. I purchased this co-op first time. My parents helped me out. I put some of my money in there, and then from there, it's like if you go together, because when you're young, you build things together. You appreciate life. Life is a roller coaster, right? Marriage is not easy.
Of course.
Everybody goes through. One of the most important thing I think is patience, right? And understanding from both sides. If you give and take, and continuously, unconditionally love each other, and it will come to you. Thank God. Well, first you have to say thank you, God, that gives that opportunity. The blessing of a home is a wife. Blessing of a home is God is in there in a home, and if you have a good relationship, your kids are good, your family is good, the house is good. It's
you will get a blessing.
Blessing from God, yes. It's amazing to see how we've grown from Briarwood to Fresh Meadows to Great Neck, and it's like, and I have to say, thanks to my sister. My sister actually is a real estate also. That's how I got into Great Neck. My sister, she lives in Great Neck also.
What's her name?
Evelina. She used to work for Gail.
Wait,
Gail.
Didn't Evelina had an apartment in Eden Rock?
Yes.
Didn't they sell her apartment too?
Yes. Before she didn't even do real estate back then. She's a PA.
But right now she does real estate too.
No. So she's this PA. She did real estate here and there, but she does a little bit here and there. Some certain clients that she asks, but she's a PA and she did a little bit of real estate. She went, and now she does actually healing. That's a different topic to talk about. She does, I could say organic healing, or I'm trying to find that word. She's in organic health, organic healing, and she's into that business now, getting into learn more about that. There's a lot of details.
So what happened with real estate?
Real estate, it's a lot of time. I know her husband's like, you need to spend more time with the kids, and real estate is not easey.
And I know she's doing also a lot of events, right?
She does events.
Challah events.
Healing events. She does.
Challah.
Oh, challah events.
Baking challah?
Yeah, she's done challah events at home. She likes to do that. She's done with Esther.
Right.
She's done.
I know someone who is very close to me that is being invited to her home quite often. So I think I know.
Yes. I know what you're talking about. So.
Well, Ilya, I want to touch upon something very important. How do you go and juggle from being a father, starting from scratch, going into hands-on working yourself, and now you're running a business? What skills do you think you need to have or anyone needs to possess to run a business? What journey did you have to go through in order for you to run a successful business that you do? Because it's juggling way too many hats, right?
It's a great thing you're saying. It's ability of managing and knowing what you want, right? I was telling you earlier, I didn't know what business is, right? I didn't know my father's not a businessman. My father used to work for somebody all life. How did I become an entrepreneur? Which is one of the most important things that a little bit story behind I started. I used to work for a company. It's to sell online, Amazon. I came in there as an eBay seller. I was just listing on eBay. Funny story, I came in there. It took a long time to list. He gave me 3,000 items to list on eBay. I'm like, there is a way. There must be a way to get this done quicker. Searched online, found something. I found something pretty cool. I found a software, and I took our database, put it into the software, and I launched the system automatically. I also worked with, and that's when I learned who I am or what I'm able to. I worked with a programmer who was in a different country. We wrote a custom program for that company. And with that, I realized I'm able to do all these things. And also with the mentorship of the boss, I have to give it to him. He was very
He gave you an opportunity.
and I wasn't even thinking of being a businessman. I learned from him. I see the way he was.
But he saw the potential in you.
And then from there, I became an eBay installer, eBay lister. From eBay lister, I became a manager, a managing of the whole internet retail side of it, in terms of purchasing, listing, managing and shipping. I used to have a team of shipping the products. I created a system for him. And that system that I created, from the beginning of receiving the inventory to all the way of changing the pricing online, like price changes. That's I'm talking about 12 years ago, 10 years ago.
So everything became seamless.
Now, yeah, seamless. When inventory comes in, it updates automatically on Amazon or any marketplace, buy.com, Amazon, eBay, even your own website.
Wow.
We created that system where it automatically changes the updates, changes the prices based on market. What it does is actually goes, checks the current market price. We created a system and we launched it. My boss next day comes in. After I launched it, I remember sitting there till like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I was alone.
So pause right there.
Yeah.
So the qualities of entrepreneur is not to look at time. And a lot of times people question me, what do you think is the secret to success? And I think is that ability to really shift, figuring things out, having common sense, but also not to look at your time. Because when you're building yourself, you cannot timestamp, right? Especially when you are assigned as an employee to a new position. This is what I think a lot of people really misunderstand and fail, is when you are on that ladder to success, you can't say I'm 9 to 5.
So see when I was installing that, when I was working late, I remember you needed quiet time because during the day I couldn't do it.
Of course,
people were
focus.
bothering me and couldn't focus. And during the night, I was able to at least nobody was in the office. I was trying to think, make sure that everything is correct, double checking everything. And then when I launched, the next day, my boss comes in. Ilya, wow, what did you do? I had 3 times the amount of orders. Let's say we have 100. We had 300 orders that day.
Wow.
And not just the orders, items that haven't been selling for a long time. Items been sitting on shelf, haven't been selling, and it's sold.
Wow.
Why? Because first of all, we checked market. We checked what the price is. We came in. So what was our lowest price? Because we had a low and a high. Lowest price, what's our purchase price? Plus, let's say 10%, 15%, whatever it is, plus shipping, whatever the cost of the shipping is. And then we came out with the minimum price. And then it came a high price. So we were able to price our pricing of the inventory very quickly on the fly. Let's say an item costs $10, $9.99 is our price. That's how we were able to succeed, is to on the time, right? Quick. And that's how we were able to. And also, if there's no inventory, the last person was able to sell, then we go up to the highest price so we can make more profit.
Wow.
So that was one of the things I've done. And that's when I learned about myself, who I'm able to, or I'm capable of, thanks to that company that I worked for. I guess that was a turning point in my life. That's when I realized that I'm able to do this, do that, do this. And somebody came to me, actually, one of my workers came to me, who's an older folk. He says, Ilya, you have a lot of potential. It's like, Ilya, you can do a lot of things. And that's when I said, you know what? Let me try it. Let me try it. And one of the things I did is always like to try things. I tried this, and I always learned from it, and it became better. And that's what I enjoy. Smart Living Solutions, I enjoy doing. That's one of the things I do. It's like
it's not work.
It's not work for me. It's completion. It's something that I start something, and all my clients who knows that I start a project and they know I enjoy them. I enjoy doing it because they know I spend time with them, training them. I spend time teaching them. And any time, Ilya, how do I do this? If they forget, let's say, they call me, do this. Okay, it works, great. That's what I'm in. That's what I love to do.
Well, because you really, truly put your heart and soul into what you do. And it's like your baby. You start from scratch and then you just develop something that doesn't exist and you turn something very big out of nothing. And this is what really makes you very special and unique, because this is really super talented human being that could really put it to work. And you are hardcore, natural, organic, authentic entrepreneur.
Yeah, and that's why.
And that's what I've witnessed and enjoyed. Just seeing what you're doing. It's really very interesting. What would be one piece of advice you could share with someone who is on their journey right now? Let's say somebody who's still looking for themselves. Let's say it's someone who is in their early 20s, still don't know what to do, still maybe not married. Let's give them one moment of wisdom. If you could share that with somebody who is in that chapter in their life, what would be one piece of advice you could give them?
First of all, 20 is very young, right? I mean, I got married 22, right? But 20 is young. First, one of the things I think my grandma used to say, Bukharian, dat hunar kam. So 10 skills for a man is very little for a man. Wow. 10 skills.
Wow.
So from that, I learned that try to do many different things. Multitask. Some people used to tell me, Ilya, how do you do so many different businesses? Real estate. This is just whatever we spoke about is a couple of things that we do, right? I've told I do so many different things, and a lot of people know me. But that's one of the things I love is in this business. Why I love the smart living solutions, because I can do electrical, I can do low voltage, I can install even a simple door. I can install or a window or mirror, something, stuff like that. Figure things out. I do things. So my point here is that for somebody who's 20 years old, go try different things. Try what you like first. Don't give up, right? Give up. Don't undercut yourself. If you want to do something, first obviously research, learn about it, try. Don't give up, and then you're gonna see what you like. You're gonna see what you're good at, right? How did I know that I'm good at security? How did I know? I tried. To get to what I'm at now, I had to try a couple of things. And that's when I like this. This is something again, what I'm doing now, I feel like I'm not working. And to get to here, I had to try so many different things. I used to sell art, I remember. I used to get art from different countries, bring it in. I still have a couple of arts, beautiful Jewish arts, I remember. I used to give them to auctions on Simchat Torah. They used to sell them. I'm sure a couple of people know me about it. And I tried so many different things. And I loved my journey in life, that I tried so many things. And
you love challenging yourself.
And I love challenging myself, yes.
Did I challenge you bringing you on this podcast?
Oh, yeah, you did. I was procrastinating. Tomorrow, next week, next month. How many times have we changed up plans? And it's obviously because it's something
What happens when you challenge yourself?
You get yourself out of comfort zone, right? And you push yourself. It's like saying, like I told you earlier, if you don't know how to swim, how are you going to learn? You got to throw yourself into the water and teach yourself and try to survive. Obviously, have somebody there to save you just in case you
drowning.
Like you're helping me out, right? If I drown. So yeah, that's really one of the things, is to throw yourself in there and figure it out.
Push.
Don't give up. I think that's the message is to a young guy. Don't give up. And that's one of the things I teach my son. Do this business, do other businesses, and don't give up. And he goes into one of the good schools. And that school is amazing. It teaches you a lot of different things. And I'm very happy, very proud to have my kids going into that school. But that's the reason I moved to
What school is it?
It's Great Neck South Schools.
Excellent.
Very good.
Would you say that the environment and where people are spending their time, who they spend time with, in the environment that's impacting your mind, plays a huge effect to your success in the future?
100%. I gotta tell you, the people that I meet in this industry is phenomenal. It's you're learning every day from people, what they do, what the industry they're in. What can you learn from them? You can also learn what they did something wrong you shouldn't do, right?
Correct.
And in this industry, because I deal with people. I learn, and you have to have a character to deal with all of it. There are people that give you a hard time.
Mood swings.
Mood swings. They yell at you. Why
Changing their minds.
Yeah, changing your minds. Why is this not working? Whatever. I'm a neutral person. You got to be neutral. You got to calm the situation down and figure things out and make the customer happy. At the end of the day, the customer is always right.
Yes.
And make the customer happy. That's really one of the key to business, right? Even as a realtor, right? How long you've been doing this? For 15 years or whatever?
No. I've been doing it since 2003. It's been 21 years now.
Wow, time does fly. Right?
Yes.
21 years. It's a lot. And I'm sure you've dealt with multiple different types of personalities.
Yes.
And to be a businessman or to be an entrepreneur, you have to know how to deal with different types of people.
Correct.
And we're talking about even employees, right?
Correct.
You have employees that you have to learn how to deal with.
Correct.
And that's one thing I think every entrepreneur knows how to do.
Struggling with.
Right? So I think that's, as you were talking back about one of the things I always implement myself is I always want to make sure I'm growing in life. I'm learning in life. I'm always taking the step ahead. Going up the ladder, we call it, right? And thank God.
Who is your mentor now?
Mentor?
Coach, mentor. Do you do self-disciplining, self-reading, self-training?
There are many mentors that I have.
I know you follow a lot of people.
A lot of people. I speak to people. There are a lot of great friends I made out of business.
You're listening to a lot of podcasts.
Podcasts, one of the really coolest things to do. It's one thing that's amazing you learn in business and finance and technology and everything. It's learning from others that have experienced it, who went through it, and that's your mentors, I think.
Especially nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Do you know, Ilya, how many times I get approached and people ask me, why do you do this? What do you get out of this? And I just love giving and sharing. If I learned something, I want to share. If it could help somebody else to shortcut their misery, I would like to share, right? And this is why I created this channel, because I want this to be the foundation of my place where people could just go to my channel, scroll down, and just meet every single one that I interview, whether it's a mover, whether it's mortgage company, whether it's attorney, whether it's a, contractor, whether it's now camera professionals. I want it to be a business networking place where a lot of professionals feel comfortable to speak and pour their heart and soul to what they enjoy doing on day to day.
Definitely. And you're doing the right thing. I'll tell you, a lot of people, the information you're providing to our community it's amazing, because it's every individual that you interview, you're doing it it's smart. Architect, even like me, I'm bringing to the table where a lot of people might not know when they're building a house.
Correct.
They're only gonna know with experience.
Correct.
I have a guy who said, I just built a house. He says to me, Ilya, this is my first house. My next house, I know I'm going to build better, right? Right? We're going to be build better. So with the experience that they get, people who's listening to this podcast, they should be able to learn what people went through, what the people experienced, what they went wrong, and become better.
What to do and what not to do.
Exactly.
The do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts.
Well, this is something that I wanted to share with others, your experience and everything that you able to share. You did an amazing job getting to the point where you are. I'm truly grateful to call you my client.
Thank you.
It's been an amazing experience to sell your small co-op in Briarwood. I'm going to tell you something, just don't lose your mind. I looked up yesterday the records. We listed your apartment May 14, 2014.
Wow.
And
we sold it for $245.
$245.
Yeah.
And right now, selling one bedrooms in that same complex 10 years later for that price. So just to show you, when you hold on to your real estate organically 10 years later, if you're doing absolutely nothing, just sitting there, living there, maintaining it, of course, in a good shape, right? It will organically grow. That same apartment right now We're looking at about 360.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 years later.
Yeah.
So you see how
I was actually to say this. I was looking. I was talking to my wife. I was like, oh, I should have left this apartment for rental. Maybe it's a great apartment downstairs with my kids used to run around. Nobody heard anything.
I will send you the list. I want you and your wife to look at it.
I was actually thinking about that.
I want you and your wife to look at it. But I want to touch upon something very, very important. That you and I, 10 years later, still in touch, still communicating. And I want you to share your experience by working with us, all right? From the very beginning up until nowadays. Like, we're still in touch. You're not really closing deals because you're not on the market to do so, but you were on the market to look for your father-in-law.
That's
and
that's how we met again.
Correct.
We reconnected again, like
Right.
looking for some apartment for my father-in-law.
Absolutely.
And I tell you, real estate has definitely grown. It's great to always keep the property and grow it and have equity in it, right? Working with you was amazing. It was very easy. First of all, I was afraid. Remember, afraid selling on my apartment. I was afraid, and I was like looking to buy a house. Should I move? Should I not move? So thank God, it's great. It worked out amazing. And looking back at it, it's great history because my kids grew there for 8 years or 7 years.
Do you think I impacted your mind then?
Yes, it's you've done an amazing job in pushing me to sell it because I thought I don't think I was going to sell. I wasn't sure how I'm going to find the funds for the Fresh Meadows house.
You needed to liquidate your funds.
I needed to, yeah.
To buy a next home.
That's true.
You didn't do it just because you wanted to do it. You had absolutely a situation where your money was frozen in your apartment. And in order for you to move up, you needed to liquidate your funds from your apartment to move and buy a house.
For sure.
And that's what
that's one of the things. Like if you had the thing, that's true. Thanks to you. That's how I did it. Otherwise, I wasn't able to buy the Fresh Meadows house. And what happened is when I moved to Great Neck, I left my Fresh Meadows house. I didn't sell it. And now
it's a step-by-step process.
So
right?
That was a great opportunity for me to do that. So it is great to keep real estate, like you said. So it is, and working with real estate that you're close to. I still even get your cards by mail.
I never believe you.
So many years later.
Right. So you know what I'm doing.
Yes. Always updates of what you sold, of what you've listed, or you have new homes on the market. So it's definitely great to have somebody like you that you're knowledgeable about in real estate. And even that building, right? You sell a lot in that building. And
I would say the other day I looked up, we sold over 70 apartments there.
Wow. That's amazing.
And it's only 200 plus units available in general, right? Like that's what the building consists of.
Yeah.
But
and that building is a very good building. I enjoyed it.
It's a great location.
So it's definitely amazing to work with you. I mean, it was a pleasure working with you, even in back in the day 10 years ago, and now coming into this podcast, kind of was nervous, wasn't sure how I'm gonna do. I hope I did good.
Well, I want to say that you did phenomenal, and I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
That you accomplished this dream that we both had, because I think that it is very important. My goal and my journey is to share and bring on this podcast as many professionals as yourself, like yourself, to showcase and share your mastered skills that you built over the years. What we're sharing here right now is all the ups and downs and the failures and our success stories. And we want people to learn from them. And we don't want people to make a mistake. And we're guiding them what to do right. And we're telling them what not to do and to do. Yeah. So the do's and don'ts of the future is right here in this room. And I want to thank you so much for having the courage to finally saying, yes, I do to me. And I want to say thank you to your wife specifically, especially to your wife, because I know that she was probably supporting you also. Yes. And wish you good luck today when you left the house. Sure. It's an amazing opportunity. So I'm going to glance through our live that we posted today and see if there is any official questions that we might have had from the post that we did. And let's hope that we do have some questions so we could answer them live.
We had almost over 500 views at this moment.
This is amazing.
And like I said, if they don't have the question now or the question they can think of, you can always reach out to me at my cell phone, like I said, or on WhatsApp. My number is 646-290-1922. They can reach me, find me on Facebook also, Instagram. And I'm there to help. I'm there to solve their issues or solve their problems that they currently have. And with my help and with God's help, I guess, I will come up with something. I will implement something for them they can be wowed about, like you were wowed about when I showed you a couple of things.
I want our listeners and followers to really understand that Ilya is an expert from Smart Living Solutions. He's done an amazing job. He definitely built something that I have never seen. And I'm super excited to walk one day into a home that you built from scratch and implemented everything for your clients. I know that you're also building for someone right now who is building a movie theater in the house.
Oh, yeah. A huge movie theater. It's a full movie theater. It's like with almost 16 speakers inside the movie theater.
I know who the client is. It's also my past client.
Let's keep it on the down low. It's a very intrigued client who likes to keep it on...
down low.
Yeah.
We will give them that respect.
Respect, yes.
Listen, I have sold a lot of homes for people that are high-profile individuals, and when they're requesting to keep it private, they have that honor.
For sure.
So I would like to give that opportunity to those that understand that we're here to meet and greet all your wishes, and we'll give you the honor of keeping it exactly how you wish. So you would like to be known, we will make your name known.
For sure.
If you would like to keep it private, it will definitely be sealed deal and private.
100%.
But I would like to say thank you, Ilya, again, for taking your time, for coming out, giving that wonderful opportunity for my audience to hear and meet you in person. And hopefully your audience will meet me in person.
Thank you.
And collaboration is the key in every business to success. So thank you guys very much for watching. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes and reach out to Ilya if you have any questions. Stay tuned for more exciting videos. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.